One of the things that made me laugh recently was I was sitting there working through the Mission Possible workbook from the Big Life Journal with my grandkiddos who now live with us. And I was thinking about how much fun and joy I was getting from doing this workbook. And so I realized that it made goals feel like they were fun. It made it quite thought provoking, as well as it made it easy to take action on. And it got me to thinking about traditional goals. And when Sue Loncarrick reached out from Women Living Well After 50 podcast show to talk to me, I went, I know the perfect topic. And so it was all about turning this impossible mission of goal setting into something that was very, very possible. And so here's the thing about traditional goals. And I'm going to get real honest here. When I ask a woman over the age of 55, what's your goal? She runs 1,000,000 miles. She becomes the world's greatest sprinter. Okay. And so one of the things that I realize from this is that those goals that we generally work towards, like I want to lose, X amount of kilos, or I want to get fitter, they're really just as inspiring as some type of leftover salad that we have from yesterday, right? So very non-inspiring whatsoever. And they might get us started, but generally as a rule, we don't really follow through on them. And so this Mission Possible alternate was, or it enabled me to look at it from a child's perspective as such. So we don't see it as, so when they're children, they're not seeing it as goals. They're plotting another adventure, or they're looking at it to go, what type of, or it, as an adult helping them, it's like, what type of traditions or what type of lessons or what type of values am I going to want to help this child create in their life? And so it was all about these small daily choices that aligned with who you are and who you are right now. And so, if you were to think about it, maybe what you're going to do is create some type of ritual around your morning coffee and do a bit of a stretch with it. Or maybe on a Sunday, you're going to have I'm going to dance like nobody's watching party. For us though, what we did was Paul has diabetes and he needs to take control over his insulin and build some muscle and all sorts of things. But it was like, what is that simple thing that we can create? And he does move quite well after breakfast and lunch, but dinner, not so much. That's when he gets those temptations. And so I started to think about it from that perspective. And the kids and I said, okay, we're going to go for a walk after dinner. And so he comes with us. And not only are we creating some level of movement after dinner, which is so good for our digestive system, it's also helping him with his diabetes in some way. It's also creating some type of family bond, but it's also a goal. It's something that we're doing every single day. And that's the other thing about goals. It doesn't have to be something that you're going to do every day. So think about that as well too. But what this book had us doing, this Mission Possible, was looking for a word of the year. And one of the things that we came up with is persistence. So as a result of that, we created a mantra, which was we try, we learn, and we just keep going. And I can tell you now, there is nothing that creates more persistence than actually raising grandkiddos in your 60s. It certainly is a bit of a challenge, but I know I'm not alone. There's plenty of other women out there that are doing what I'm doing, or, grandfathers that are doing what I am doing as well too. And so I think the real secret to goal setting is not to make these big declarations that we're going to be transforming our life overnight. It's about those small daily decisions that, let's face it, that they barely feel like decisions at all. And it's like having this life happens backup plan. And life does happen. And I have spoken about this life happens plan quite a bit in the past. So um, it's definitely something to keep in mind. It is definitely something that I use currently, constantly, and I've used in the past many, many times before. Because life is going to happen. If you're the person who's on call for taking care of your grandkids, you're going to get that call that says, come look after them. And that might have been the time that you were going to do a workout, or it might have been the time that you were going to, get your nails done or get your hair done or something along those lines. So what it is about is not creating some type of impossible situation for yourself. You want to make it like it feels absolutely ridiculous. Something so simple, like I'm going to stand on one leg when I clean my teeth in the morning. Okay, because maybe if your balance is out, that's a great starting point. So here's my challenge for you is that what you do is you pick one tiny, tiny, really, really small, ridiculous thing to start doing, some type of action that you're going to go. This is my tradition. This is what I'm going to work towards. And it is all about consistency. It is nothing to do with perfectionism, okay? So throw that out the back door. It's not to do with that because we are never going to be perfect. We're always going to have to or want to create some level of routine that gives us some level of consistency in our life because we want to be flexible in this, but we want to make it doable and we want to make it sustainable. Okay, so I want you to think about being persistent. Now, that's my word of the year. And maybe you can borrow it from me, or maybe you've got a different word of the year that you're going to come up with when you start to go through this process. So if you want to hear more about this approach, then go ahead and listen to the full interview on the Women Living Well After 50 podcast, where myself and Sue go deeper into creating your own Mission Possible plan. And hey, I'd love to hear what you think and what tiny little tradition that you are going to create this week. So take care and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.